How was the World Juniors for you?
It was awesome. It was really cool. It's so cool being in a room with like everyone wants, we're all chasing the same dream. We're all chasing the same goal. We all want it just as bad. We're all elite athletes. Like, it's cool. That's like good energy when you're in the room with like those kind of like-minded people. So that was really cool. And you know, we made it to the final there. We lost to Team USA, unfortunately.
Did that sting a little bit more because it was the U.S.?
Oh, it always does.
Yeah.
It always does. But no, all in all, like looking back, like that was quite some time ago now. It was such a cool experience and definitely a highlight of my hockey career.
How much time do you get with that group to actually train before you're in the tournament?
So we had a tryout in the summer, and it was like 10 days long, I think. And then you either make the team or you go home. And if you make the team, you stay for another week. And we had a little rivalry series against Team USA. So that was like a couple weeks long as a team. And then we had another tryout in December. So that was like 4 or 5 days max. And then we got together a week before Worlds. So not a lot of time to get to know each other and stuff on the ice.
How many people are at that tryout? Like the first one? How many people start? And also, is it invite? Is that how it works?
Yeah, it's invite. There's a May camp, which is strength and conditioning camp, or this was how it worked at the time. I can't remember how many people, maybe 40.
Okay, so pretty small then, actually. Yeah. There's not like 100 people.
Right, yeah. Okay. I think like 40, and then it gets down, like dwindled down a little bit for the summer camp, August camp, and then there's 2 teams, a red and a white team, and then they narrow it down to 1.
Yeah. Were you expecting to make it, or were you surprised you made it?
I think I was surprised. Like I called my dad, my mom and dad, and I was tearing up. I was crying as soon as I got the nod, and so it was definitely an awesome, like one of the greatest moments. Like, and then putting on the jersey for the first time, so cool. But yeah, I think it's definitely, I was in the mix, and like I wanted it so bad. So obviously, you kind of have your hopes that you're gonna make the team. So, but at the end of the day, it's always a really good feeling when you get the nod there.
And it's tough too, because it's not always it's not always about who is the best in general. It's about like who performs the best during that week. They have their eyes on you, right? So like that has to be even more intimidating, where it's like sometimes these people don't know you that well. And if you have like a bad week, you're not playing for Canada.
Right, exactly. Well, they do a good job of scouting throughout the year too, but it does, for the most part, comes down to that week. So it's high stress. It's
so intimidating.
It's high stress on the body and the mind, for sure.
Is it hard playing with people that you have not had that much practice time with?
At that level, to be honest, like everyone's so good that it just like you don't even.
It's easy.
It makes it easier, And it takes probably a couple practices, and you feel like you've been playing all year together. So it's it wasn't too bad from what I remember. Yeah.
Interesting. What about being on that stage? Like in my mind, and maybe I'm like missing something, but in my mind, that's the biggest because technically they call it women's and men's, but it's U18. Like the majority of the people are 17 still. So it's like the biggest youth sporting event for our country. I think that's the one that the Canadians pay the most attention to. Was it like challenging or intimidating being on that stage when you were like a high school student, basically?
It was so long ago.
Yeah, I can forget. How many years ago was that? 8 years?
Yeah, 8 years ago now. So 2015. But from what I remember, they give you all the resources to succeed in that situation, and you feel like a pro.
Good.
Definitely, I'm sure. Like I had my stresses and stuff when being on that stage, but I just remember actually we were practicing. We were practicing at Western. We were in London the week before, and then we went over to Buffalo, and they have like a track around their hockey rink, and there was like they were doing like pole vaulting and stuff as we're practicing, and our coach is like, this is going to be a great test for us. Like we're going to have fans. Like our game against US is sold out in the preliminary round. So like this is good. Like there's going to be people around us, and we need to drown out the distractions. So like that definitely helped, like getting used to that, not looking at the people jumping over crazy things over there, So I'm sure it was a little bit intimidating at times.
How cool. 17-year-old me would have been psyched playing a sold out stadium. What a cool experience.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. That was so cool. Yeah, and
Amazing.
it was nice that we were so close to Canada in Buffalo. Like usually it's overseas, which in some ways would have been cool to go overseas, but you're all business, so you don't really get to tour around or anything. But being in Buffalo it was definitely awesome. Like I have a bunch of family in the Niagara area, and like so I had a crew there watching. It was like there was just as many Canadians as Americans, so
which is
awesome.
so great. I love that we always come through for our teams.
Oh yeah.
What did you think of this year's World Juniors team? Did you watch? Did you tune in for any of the games?
Yeah, I was following along. Definitely watched like the highlights after games and stuff too, and pretty cool to see that Slovakia girl there. Only 14 years old. She's gonna be a force to be reckoned with, that's for sure.
Powerhouse.
Yeah, so looking forward to watching her come up and see where she goes to school or what she plans on doing.
They worried me a little bit. I watched their preliminary game against the States, the 7-0, and I was like, what is going on here? But obviously, I think they surprised themselves. Like, I think that must have been a moment for them of like, oh my God, we need to get it together.
Right.
Because it was a different team in the gold medal match when they saw them again.
Totally. Yeah. No, they got a good little squad. There's some good up-and-comers. It'll be exciting to see.
Was there anybody that stood out to you?
I'm a defense, so I'd say Ava Murphy. I think that's she's 5'9", I think. Like she's a bigger, taller girl. So, and I think she's committed to Wisconsin. So it'll be cool to see her come up through the ranks and see how she does. And she had a good tournament.